The soul and the ego. We are all born with a soul. We all have a soul within us. Our soul can also be described as that inner wisdom, that gut feeling, that intuition. That's your soul. Your soul is constantly trying to communicate with you all the time. And if we lived our life through us as a human being and our soul and looked at it as two separate things, if we then work together, you'll see that there will be no suffering. There'll just be enjoyment and excitement. We have the ego, which really takes over a lot of our lives in this awakened state. And the soul normally has its place to say and a place to express itself when we go into silence. And that's when you start getting these intuitions and these knowings and these thoughts, because your soul gets to speak and you get to hear it. But we go through life and we get that gut feeling, something don't feel right. That's your soul communicating with you. Yet your ego's like, nah, fuck it. I'm going to continue doing it, I know. And later on down the line, you suffer for it because you didn't listen to your soul. Meditation is so powerful, not just to clear all the chaos, because at the moment, this is making a distraction from hearing your soul. So you clear the noise through meditation, through silence, and then your soul can communicate with you. We all have a soul and we're all connected by souls, but the ego again gets in the way. Best way to describe the soul, just to show you that it is present. When you lie, you know you're lying. Your heart, your body is making reactions because you are lying. Your heart will beat faster. You will struggle to get your words out. You might sweat a tiny bit. That's your soul saying you're lying here. When you drop rubbish on the floor outside, you know what you did was just wrong. That's your soul communicating with you. But usually there's an ego, this imposter that takes over. And it's all about me. It's all about material things. It's all about being better than someone else. It's competition. Whereas your soul, it's just connecting. It's love. So when you're born, imagine that the soul comes into this human body and then there's a stamp with your ego. Right, here's taking over. They're two separate things. When you go into that meditation place, it's almost like your playground full of soul. It can express itself. It can recharge its battery. When you're suffering and you're going through anxiety, depression, your soul is suffering more than anything else. Because what you're doing at the moment is not serving your soul. Your soul works with your body. It's in there and your body looks after you every single day. So when we start looking at your health, are you feeding your soul? Are you exercising your soul? Are you looking in the mirror and noticing your soul? Appreciation, self-love, affirmations. Because the more you start working on these things, the better you feel. It's because your soul feels alive, your soul feels better. And when we ignore it, we suffer. A good example where the ego takes over and your soul suffers. Because the words we use communicate with the soul. So if you say something that's not true and then go ahead and do something opposite, your soul feels it. So someone might invite you out for a night out and you really don't want to go. You just know you don't want to go, but you still say, I might come, I'll try to come. If you do go, your soul suffers. If you don't go, your friends suffer. If you just said, I really don't fancy coming tonight, I don't feel like it, then all of a sudden your soul will feel better. It's the same when you go out drinking. How many times have you gone out with your mates and you're like, nah, I'm not drinking tonight. I'm definitely not drinking. And then as the night goes on, you have one or two, and then you go all out. And it gets to like 4 or 5 in the morning. You're laying in bed thinking, what am I doing? That's your soul now suffering. The next morning, then you suffer. So if you look at yourself different to your soul, but then think, right, we've got to work together. If you had just said, yeah, I'm going out, I'm going to have a few drinks, when you wake up in the morning, yeah, your body's going to be hurting, but your soul's not suffering. Start then looking at everything that happens in your life. There's a lot of things that we do that we really don't want to do, but we're not confident enough to say it, so we go and do it anyway. If you look at it in the workspace, there must be loads of tasks that you're set and you really don't want to do it. And you really fight against doing it because your soul's saying, I don't want to, but you still go and do it anyway. And then you suffer. And the more you keep doing it, the more you do suffer. I work with people that are depressed. I said, when was the last time you looked in the mirror? Nah, I don't really do that. I don't do that sort of stuff. I'm not that vain. It's not like me. But yet, you've been depressed for a few years now. Maybe you should. Just go in the mirror, look at yourself and say, wow, I look amazing today. Because what you're doing when you're looking in the mirror is you're communicating with your soul. What you put out comes back. So you put out love, love comes back. If you appreciate your soul, I've had a great day today, I've done really well. Last week, been fantastic, well done. Your soul's hearing, your soul's celebrating. It's like, oh my God, I've been noticed, I've been appreciated. So when you go into the day, you're going to feel so much better because your soul's dancing around inside you. So when we come back to that silence, you notice these feelings and these thoughts all pop up when you're in the shower, when you go for a run, when you're on the bike. It's because you've cleared this noise and then the truth starts coming out. So I'm going to encourage you, start tapping into your inner body a lot more. Become still and sit with it and just see what comes up to you. Remember, that is truth. So there's certain things that come up you're not going to be happy with. Or there's certain things that show itself which you know that you keep doing the opposite. You're with that person that's treating you like shit. You're with that person, you know they're cheating on you, but yet you still stay with them. The ego is fighting against the soul. The soul knows, you know deep down, but yet you choose against it anyway. And this is where I'm encouraging people now, if we can take the time, even 10 minutes a day, just to be still, over time you'll start realizing what it is that you actually want, what feels right, rather than what you think you want by the ego, or what you think is right, or what other people seem to think is the normal. We're all different, we're all unique, and we all have our own soul. So it's trying to be okay of listening to that gut feeling, going with that intuition and being okay with it, and being true to your word as well. Because when you start doing that and other people have an opinion, it doesn't affect you. When the ego gets involved and you react to something, usually, if you really think about it and be honest with yourself, that reaction has come from a place because someone said something that has challenged you. And deep down, they may have a point, and that ego bites in and gets the reaction. So when you do have these confrontations with people and you do hear these comments, the first thing to realize, they're not true to start with, but to sit back and take these opinions, sit with it and see what does come up. They've said something about my cleanliness and I've reacted to it. Do they have a point? They say something about laziness and they say something and you react to it. Are you being 100%, giving 100% effort? Are you being the best self? Or could you be doing more? That reaction's ego. And then when we start being true to our words, we can let go of the past. Like, yeah, I might be lazy. I might have not been clean at that point, but that's fine. But with my word now, this is what I'm always going to do going forwards. And if you can then start being true to your word and being okay with that, guess what? Your soul thrives. And then the suffering decreases. Everything starts from within you. Right now, we're looking at the outside world for help. There's stress, there's fear, there's anxiety all going round, and we're looking around for other people to blame. We're looking at other people to help us. But yet we could come straight back to ourselves with a simple meditation, with a simple walk in the park, with a simple bike ride. And within that time, you're going to move that chaos around your brain out the way, and then you can start listening to that intuition. And then my advice is listen to it, reflect on it. Where is that come from? What is that feeling? And is it right? And if it is right and you're not happy with that, that means you can now work on it and be okay that that was the past. I've now got focus. I now want to improve my life, and this is what I will start doing. And if we can start working with your soul more often, starting with just a bit of appreciation, a few affirmations when you wake up, all of a sudden your days will become more enjoyable. You'll be able to deal with all the stresses that are thrown your way, and you'll be more happier. And when you're giving off more positivity, other people want to get involved. They want to be around you. They get inspired that with everything that's going on, you're still in a good place. And that's because it starts from within you. So I constantly go on about meditation, but it has a lot more benefits than people realize. It's not about just being still, clear in the mind. It's being able to tap in and connect to yourself on a deeper level. And when it is right, you'll find that you'll start doing the things that you want to be doing and being okay with the words that come out of your mouth because that's how you feel. Life does become a lot more easier. And obviously, life is going to throw loads of things at you all the time. So if your soul is more recharged and you are fully recharged, you're going to be able to deal with these problems a lot more. Currently, people are running on half full. In some cases, they run on empty. And these people often are now giving their energy to help other people, their families, their friends, and then they burn out. And again, their soul suffers because it's exhausted, it hasn't rested. So this is why we really need to connect with the soul and start paying attention to what comes up for you and see where that takes you.